welcome into the last edition of the Playmakers. My name is Lydia Taylor, and alongside me are my boys, Nick Cousin and Kevin Gray. It is our last one of the semester, guys. Can we believe it?
It's gone by quickly.
It's been an emotional road.
It's been an emotional road. Yes, it has. Well, we have a lot in store for you guys, as always. Baseball's road to the Big 12, a special guest to talk about golf and baseball, in fact, as well. And finally, tennis and track. Stick with us here on the Playmakers for more.
What I gotta do to let niggas know I am the nicest ever.
Thanks for sticking with us. We're going to get down to some baseball talk. We're here with Mitch Glessner. He's the voice of Kansas baseball. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, awesome. Love to talk baseball.
Second time on the show.
It is.
Yeah.
Second time.
So, the Kansas baseball team went to Minnesota and lost the series. Talk a little bit about what happened.
Well, this is a team right now that, it's been a grind the whole season, right? And, you're going into Minnesota, big midweek battle, 2-game set. And Kansas' bullpen is really kind of depleted right now. And, they have a good guy in Ben Krauth on Fridays, but, some other guys in the starting roles really have been a little shaky here and there. And Minnesota is a top team in the country, ranked 19th. They came into that series with the 7th best average as a team in the country. So a team that can definitely bang the ball around, and they really did that. And the wind was blowing out. 23 hits for them in the first game, 18 for them in the second game. So a team that can definitely hit for power, hit for average, and they did that against the Jayhawks.
That seems like something that KU struggled with, especially is hitting. Hitting's been a problem. They're relying a lot on McLaughlin and Tinsley, and they're not really getting it done that much either.
Right, and there was a stretch for a while. Matt McLaughlin started out really hot, and then he went on a cold streak for a while. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better now. He was striking out a little bit more, and most of it was really mental. And hitting is a mental thing, and it's just been a ride. And so far, the hitting is coming along. I think, especially with the help of the wind blowing out for one of the first times the last weekend against Oklahoma, and then in Minnesota, the wind was also blowing out. So that hasn't been a factor all season, and now that they've seen the wind blowing out a couple of times, see the ball go over the wall a couple of times, and they've been swinging it well.
Well, Mitch talked about Oklahoma, so we're going to talk about what Oklahoma really did well and what KU did well against Oklahoma in the last weekend series. First, obviously, it was rained out on Friday, so Ben Krauth had his pitch Saturday. We know the Ben Krauth effect. The team plays really well when Ben Krauth's on the mound, and the pitchers start to pitch well after he gets on the mound. Also, something they did badly was, the pitching. When Ben Krauth's on the mound, the bullpen is just struggles and struggles and struggles, and it's very and the power also. KU actually played well this weekend offensively. They had a lot of power. They were patient. They waited for their pitch. They had good defense, and so when Ben Krauth's on the mound, they do better than when they're not. But this weekend, Oklahoma, even matchup with KU. But again, the Big 12 is really deep, and so you see a lot of teams are better than KU, and so they have to start playing well against better teams. So Mitch and Kev, take us through this Oklahoma series. I kind of previewed it a little bit, but show us what KU did well and what when they do bad, what they do poorly.
So first of all, you talked about what they did well. They did some stuff well, especially on Saturday when they won both games. We saw Colby Wright's home run. What did he do with that at bat?
Well, Colby Wright, struggled a little bit to start out the year. He's got great bat speed, and he hits really well down in that 5-6 hole. With Tinsley and those guys in front of him, it makes it a little bit easier for him. They were facing Jake Elliott that day, and that guy's he's a good pitcher. He's gotten a lot of innings for Oklahoma, but he's not really a top-tier pitcher. And Colby really just jumped all over the fastball. He left it right over the plate, and Colby swinging the bat well. And once again, the wind was really pushing the ball out against Oklahoma, so that really helped as well. And he ended up with a three-run dinger. So good swing of the bat by Colby.
Yeah, that was a lot of power. Next, we saw Tommy Mirabelli hit the game-winning walk-off sac fly against Oklahoma in the second game of the doubleheader against Oklahoma on Saturday. So what did he do with that at bat?
Well, Tommy came in, and I mean, he just knew exactly what he needed to do. Less than 2 outs, man on third, you got to drive that run in. And he got a good pitch to hit out over the plate. It was a fastball with a little bit of run on it. So it ran right out over the plate, which was perfect for him. Didn't hit it very well, shallow left field, but, tagging up at third, going all the way was Colby Wright. And third base coach Richie Price does a great job of communicating with those guys. He had him going all the way, regardless of how deep it was hit. So a good move by Richie Price and then Colby Wright to hustle on it.
How has their base running been this year?
It's been all right. They've had to play small ball at times. Lately, with the bats rolling, they can kind of feed off one another, string some hits together. But Joe Maroney, he's been a guy that he's stolen a couple bags. Michael Tinsley has actually stolen a couple bags too. They're not typical for a catcher usually to steal some bags, but the running game has been pretty good for them. But right now, with the way the bats are, they can do some more things like hit and running, and they don't have to really rely on sack bunting and stealing as much right now.
So we're going to move on to what they did poorly against Oklahoma. They lost the Sunday match to sweep against Oklahoma, and it was really pitching. Jackson Goddard, we saw in the clip earlier that he gave up a huge home run to Noisy. It was a 3-run home run. What did Jackson Goddard do on the mound?
Well, Sheldon Noisy, first off, big props to him. He's one of the best hitters in the country. 9 home runs. He had 3 in that series. But Jackson Goddard, once again, another young guy on the staff, really just trying to find his groove. He's had trouble with fastball location. And, if you're struggling with the fastball and not getting it over for strikes, you can't do what you want to do with your secondary stuff. And against Noisy, he just left a fastball over the plate because he's not getting his other stuff in for strikes. So forces him to throw a lot of fastballs, and a great hitter like Noisy is going to take advantage of that.
All right, so looking forward, the Big 12s are coming up for KU baseball. Only 8 of the 9 Big 12 teams will get in. How does it look for KU?
Well, right now, they're 5-9. They've, scratched out a couple wins. They got 2 out of the 3 against Oklahoma in, both in the doubleheader. But, looking ahead, this weekend they got Texas Tech, and that's been a team that has really surprised everybody. A team, once again, like Minnesota, they're going to bang the ball around the yard. Their Friday starter is 7-0 right now. So you got him going up against Krauth. That should be a great matchup. But once again, this team, multiple guys hitting over 330. It'll be interesting to see if the wind is blowing out or blowing in, and really how that'll affect this series.
So K-State, as you can see, is one of the other teams vying for the Big 12 tournament. So we're going to take a look at their schedule coming up. How do you think KU and K-State will be able to fight each other for that final spot as we see their schedule here?
Right. So KU's got 9 more conference games, 3 against Tech, and then the 3 against K-State, and then they'll finish out against Oklahoma State. It's going to be crucial for them to try and take 2, if not sweep Tech. And that's going to be very tough. They're top 10 in the nation right now. They're the number 8 team in the nation. So they're going to have to try to at least steal 1 or 2 from them. And then it's a necessity to at least take 2 or 3 from K-State. And then Oklahoma State, that's another good offensive team. Hopefully, scratch a couple wins here and there. Ben Krauth has been phenomenal for them on Fridays. The guys on Saturday and Sunday, they're going to really have to step it up.
As baseball season comes to an end, many of the spring sports already in postseason play. We're going to talk about golf and tennis chances right after the break. Stay with us on the Playmakers.